Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing. I'm Matthew Buzzy. This is Tom Brandt. This is the HP Omen Desktop. Every day we show you one cool thing in the labs. Today it is this one cool thing. It's red and black, Tom. Does that mean it's gaming ready? That's my only assumption.
Yeah, if you look at this, you think, wow, this is like a, fairly aggressive looking gaming PC. And it is a gaming PC, it is fairly aggressive looking, but as we'll get into in a little bit, it's not got the best components for you if you really want to take advantage of high-end virtual reality or 4K gaming.
But it is customizable. If you're watching on Facebook, please leave comments and type along as you're watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe. I've always wanted to say that, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to get that off my chest. So yeah, let's jump into this. The HP Omen Desktop, it starts at $799.
Indeed.
But it can be configured to the moon. I understand.
Yeah, the one thing I would say about this is really seeking to be all things for all gamers. You could take one of these home for $800, or now that it's holiday shopping season, probably you can find it for even less.
Free, even. I don't know about that.
Yeah, they're just giving them away. That's the bare minimum. But the version that we have that we're showing here today is a bit more. It's actually almost twice as much. It's $1,300, I believe, a little bit over $1,300. So that gets you obviously very different components. Question is even at that price, which I would say is mid-range for a gaming laptop, around $1,500 to $1,600, is it worth it?
Well, there's so many components. Where do I start?
Well, let's actually start with the front here, because as you can see, we have the Omen logo here. We've got some nice red, accent lights.
And may or may not be your cup of tea. That is, as I joked about, the sort of quintessential gaming look. But
yeah, I mean, it is
might
a gaming.
turn some people off.
What they've done here, and what you'll see when we rotate in a minute, they've basically taken the regular tower design and they've cut some notches in it to make it more angular and aggressive. Now, as I said, this is seeking to be all things to all people, so they've included
who isn't really
a slot or a tray loading optical drive here. And let's
you got to get the tray in there.
Okay, so we got to be careful to rotate it.
Got to get the optical drive.
Yeah, so this is something we very rarely see on really any computer anymore. So it's nice to see that it's on the Omen if you, for some reason, have a large DVD
Someone
collection.
was just asking me about buying one specifically with an optical drive, because they needed one.
And if you like to play older games or things like that you already have a sizable collection of,
if you're still burning your favorite hits from the 90s, then this optical drive is for you.
Okay, so now let's get to the good stuff here. We'll turn the case. What I've done is I've actually taken the left-hand side panel off, which comes off fairly easily. There's no tools involved with it, but you do have to fight with it a bit. And then you can see in here that it's fairly what you'd expect for a low-end to mid-range PC. There's one CPU cooling fan for the Core i5.
No liquid cooling. If anyone out there is thinking that, because we always get questions about the cooling.
No, it doesn't.
No liquid cooling.
No liquid cooling. And then, so yeah, what else have we got here? We have a GTX 1070, which is not bad for, especially if you're like many gamers, you're perfectly content to play at 1080p resolution, full HD. It does that no problem. That said, our top choice for PCs kind of in this price range is from Dell. It's the XPS Tower Special Edition.
Kind of the same things, even a little smaller, but configurable.
Yeah, and it's a great gaming computer. It's also great as a multi-purpose computer. That has also a 1070, and it does better on our gaming frame rate test.
Yeah.
So,
as you can see here in the full review, we have the benchmark results. This would be a good time to cut. We also have a nice shot of the interior, in case you can see that a little better than you can in the live shot. These are benchmark tests. Obviously, the comparable system, we mentioned the XPS Tower along with a couple others, but
yeah, and you can see actually that all these computers have the same graphics card with the same graphics memory, but the two that stand out really are the iBuyPower and the Dell XPS, because both of those did a bit better on both the frame rate tests and also our proprietary Firestrike tests. So.
Yes. So if you kind of like that price range or the general design, you can further tweak the components from there. So if you like one more than the other, kind of find what you want when you configure, when you order.
Yeah, let's keep going though. So in addition, we have a GTX 1070. We've got the Core i5 CPU. Actually, wait, maybe this is a Core i7. Am I misspeaking here? Let's go down.
Fact check.
Yeah, sorry, it's a Core i7.
Core i7.
7th generation Core i7.
Even better.
One notch down from the Core i7 in the Dell again. So, but it is a fine general purpose PC. I mean, it can do image editing and Photoshop like lightning quickly. So you're not going to have problems with that. We have two 8GB memory modules here, and there is an additional 2 that are open, so you can add in more.
They're very traditional green RAM sticks, not really fitting the aesthetic. As
Right,
someone pointed out. Good question.
What are the benchmarking tools that we use to evaluate PCs like this, and can people at home get access to them?
Some of them are like some homebrewed sort of mixes, like our battery test and like what for the Handbrake for the video encoding. It's sort of custom tests encoding a certain size video and recording the time. Other ones are synthetic though. You can like buy licenses, and if you really want to run like 3D Mark at home as like a hobby, I mean, go nuts. Yeah, it's things that measure frame rates. It's things that measure frame rates in both simulated environments and what a real game would look like. Some just give you a score, and some give you an actual frame rate, which gives you that's more specific to gaming rather than 3D performance. Give you a better idea of the frame rate you'll get in real games if you choose Ultra, if you choose 4 times anti-aliasing, if you choose anisotropic times 16, whatever you want to put on.
Well, yeah, and let me say 2 things about that. So one, you can actually see there's a little link that says see how we test desktops on every single desktop review that we have.
Yes.
So that's an easy way to actually see all the tests that we do and an explanation of them.
It is true.
And then the second thing is, since this is specifically a gaming PC, you actually don't need to have like, a crazy technical benchmark for you to kind of approximate our results. If you have really any high-end AAA gaming title, many of them actually have built-in benchmarking.
It is true.
So you can go into the game and actually, run the benchmark, and it will tell you what the average frame rate was. And that's actually, a great. We don't list those because everyone likes different games.
Right.
But that's a great way for the games that you play to actually evaluate the system.
And those are very specific to a lot of those games, to that game and how well optimized it is, or if it doesn't run that well on certain hardware.
Yeah.
So it's a little. So you'll get different frame rates in different games because of how they're made. But yeah, we have the benchmarks, and then we kind of test on the side too. Just anecdotally, I'll launch up The Witcher 3 and see if it runs smoothly. If you max it out, if we have a really beefy machine, I'll put it on 4K and be like, it still runs actually.
And actually, going back to the review here, you can see the 4K numbers, and they are not good. Well, they're not horrible.
They're 30 frames for this, actually.
They're hovering around 30 frames, which is fine for. I mean, you're going to notice some lag with 30 frames.
But that's on ultra. That's on max settings. So if you were to take a couple things down, if you really want to play on 4K, which if you have a 4K monitor, I'm sure you do want to do. You can turn a couple of bells and whistles off and probably get maybe 30 frames. It might dip though, so that's sort of the 1440p. I might turn it down to and play on that because that'll look really sharp. So that's what I play on at home. But.
And the same goes for virtual reality. I mean, you can turn the settings down, get an amazing VR experience, or you can keep it. I mean, the absolute minimum for an Oculus Rift or something like that is a 1060, I believe.
Yeah.
So this is going to be more than adequate for lower resolutions.
For sure. We have another question.
Is the processor unlocked?
The processor is not unlocked.
No. So there are some. I think actually the Omen X has an overclockable processor that you can do via the Omen desktop software, which brings me to actually something I wanted to bring up with the Omen software. You can't overclock it, but the interesting thing that you can do with this, not related to the GPU or the graphics card, you can actually assign different networking options to different apps. So like, let's say you're playing a game, you
turned it off somehow.
I just turned it off. You can actually connect both Wi-Fi and Ethernet, and in the Omen software, you can configure it so that all the gaming traffic is done over Ethernet and everything else is over Wi-Fi. I actually don't know how much of a difference that really makes.
That's also what the killer
it's similar to
technology
does. So I mean, it's something to try out. I think that ultimately, if you have both connected at the same time, and you have your average home internet connection, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference. But it's nice to see that they've included that option.
I have another question.
Can you get an SSD in there?
Yeah, so
there already is. I was just going to say, Tom, talk to me about storage.
Okay, so let's continue here with our tour.
If you look on your left, you'll notice.
The M.2, so this has 2 drives as is configured. It's hard to see back in here next to the memory, but there is an M.2 256 gigabyte solid state
little
drive.
Stick a gun.
That's great. It's very speed. I mean, the M.2 interface is great. It's probably the fastest storage that you can get on consumer PCs. And then to supplement that, we have a 2 terabyte spinning drive here, which is great to store the games that you're not playing.
Right.
Yeah. And let's go back here. And then there's an additional storage slot here for another regular drive.
But wait, there's more.
And this being an HP Omen, they've put this kind of, I think it's ostentatious, but you can actually pull out the drive sleds here to put 2 more 3.5-inch hard drives, and they've put this nice little HP Omen.
Are these hot swappable?
Well, if you can, I mean, you could configure it in a hot swappable RAID array, I'm sure. But the problem with that is, do you really need that? I mean, yeah, if you really need that much storage, I don't think you're going to be putting that much storage and configuring the RAID options with a gaming computer.
I can't really see that many cases for hot swapping by at-home gaming rig storage either.
To me, hot swapping is like if you have like a huge external hard drive thing and you have thousands of hours of 4K video.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. So I probably would not hot swap.
Especially since if you have that much, you could just put another drive in here or another drive in there and just leave it.
Yeah. So. And then also on the front here, we have an SD card slot, 2 USB-C connectors. There's no Thunderbolt 3 on this thing though, and 2 regular USB 3 Type A connectors.
That's a pretty well-rounded system.
Yeah, I mean, and the great thing is, being from HP, they have better support options than some other, if you build it yourself, certainly better support options.
Oh, you're out of luck, yeah.
But also, you can configure it with pay more for additional warranties, things like that. Dell offers the same thing, but that's one of the benefits going with HP. The downside is, there's no liquid cooling, there's no, no overclocking, and things like that.
Yeah, that's one of the frequent criticisms is like, why would I buy when I can build and it'll be less money? But support's a big reason for that.
Yeah, support is. And I don't know, do any of these other ones have overclocking? Do you know off the top of your head? I mean,
overclocking CPU capabilities?
Yeah,
the iBuyPower does, has the K designation there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just did, but I opened it as an image.
Here.
Oh, it's gone. I killed it. Yeah, no, the iBuyPower was an unlocked CPU there. I don't know if any of these have it as an option configured, not as we tested. I don't think they have it as an option.
Yeah, and the Omen X, so the other, HP's kind of other gaming desktop is the Omen X, much more expensive, looks totally different. It's not a tower at all. It's like this cube that balances on one axis.
Just like me.
I believe that has a K processor, but I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. Yeah, so if we have no more questions, I think, we do have another question. Huh.
If I wanted a white gaming PC.
A what?
Do those exist?
A white one or a light one?
Or a light one?
Or white, or just in general. Are there light-toned?
Yeah,
white-toned. The iBuyPower is all white.
It's like Snow White.
Yeah. It's called the Snowblind Pro, in fact. So they want you to know that it's white.
I mean, you can paint. You can paint
whatever you want.
You can use an older Mac for as if you play Minecraft or something.
There are a lot of white custom, not custom cases, but from like the case manufacturers. There are a fair amount of white cases out there. And on the laptop side, that new HP Spectre that is all white.
Right. There's
maybe white's coming back at you.
And I think actually it is, because Dell's going to come out with the new XPS, the white version of the laptop. But you can also get you could get a white PC, gaming PC. You could also get ones that are much more transparent than this one. This one is mostly opaque. There's just one window.
Yeah, it's a small cutout window.
But the many of the higher end ones that we've tested, the entire thing is transparent, so you can see the liquid cooling.
And the iBuyPower, the Snowblind Pro, it has that weird feature. The whole draw is the side panels and LED, and you can put custom things on the display. You could put your graphics card temperature readout and your RAM.
Right, and you're spending what, $4,000 plus for that?
I don't think that one's that bad actually. I think it's in the 2000s somewhere.
Okay.
So it's not crazy, but yeah, that is one of the reasons why it's faster as well. It's more expensive. So yeah, I would say for this and the Dell, the XPS did remain our editor's choice. It's just a little faster. It's even smaller. Doesn't have some of the complaints you had about it. But you can configure this really low price if you want, or high. So if you like the design, if you like some of the features like the drive bays up here, go on HP's site and check it out. You can get there through our review check it out on PCMag.com. What was the final score?
We gave this a 3.5, which is pretty good for what it is.
Yeah, that's a solid score. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, come back, hang out. Thanks again. See you tomorrow.